Blog Talk Radio.
Another minute, every step I know you're with me. I've been walking for a while down this road of redemption. Called on you, Jesus, I'm so thankful that you made a way. Cause I was always running, acting stupid, getting lost in confusion. Played the game, was always losing, didn't know what I was doing. Defeated, I was broken, suicidal, feeling hopeless. I was so far away from the truth. Going 100 miles an hour, there was no speed limit. Had a stone cold heart, wasn't worried about forgiveness. Too focused on myself to hear God's voice calling me home. I thought I made too many bad decisions, thought I made way.
Alright, what's up, y'all? This is Jared with the Race Safer Fuel Arrestor and the Southern Dirt Track Report. This is my podcast, Safety to Success, Safety and Racing Podcast. We got a great show for you. We got James Dixon called in, the tech man at Tri-County Speedway. And then we have Kirven Thomas going to be calling in, driver of the number 76 Iron Horse late model. Got a good show. And, of course, my theme song for the show is Redeemed, Josh Richards. If y'all check out his music, look up Redeemed on Facebook, and then look up Another Minute. He's got a video for it on YouTube. It is my theme song. Thank you, Josh, for letting me use your song. Josh is a Christian rap artist on fire for the Lord, so thank you. We're going to have a great show. We have a great weekend planned, scheduled at Tri-County Speedway. And, of course, the show is presented by the Race Safer Fuel Arrestor, the number one fuel safety device in racing, in my opinion. Fuel fires are scary. There's been 3 fuel fires in the past month. Sprint car driver, lady caught fire one night a few weeks ago. Then Robbie sent me another video of another guy, another driver catching fire the other day. And I want to say a sprint car also. And it's just been several fuel fires in the past few years. So y'all don't want to skip on safety. Check out our website at racesaferfuelarrestorllc.com to get protected from a fuel fire. Hit me up. I can hook you up. Please get protected from a fuel fire. Don't skip on safety. So, all right, let's bring our guest on, James Dixon here. Hey, man, what's going on?
Doing? Pretty good. How about you?
Man, I'm doing dang near Skippy. I'm glad you called in.
Yeah, but I am the tech man at Tri-County Speedway, and you talking about the Iron Horse driver coming on. People out there in the racing world needs to sit back and think a little bit. That Iron Horse class is gonna be the racing of the future going forward.
Yes.
It is a cost-effective. It is really cost-effective. You can actually run an Iron Horse late model cheaper than you can run a pure stock, factory stock race car. You get more parts, the whole 9 yards.
Exactly. So explain to everybody listening what the Iron Horse class is.
Well, the Iron Horse class they're a full-blown late model that we run pretty much a pure stock engine in. So it's a low-budget engine. They're restricted to a 420 lift camshaft. You can run the newer style Vortex heads because they're really easier to get because you can like load up crate motor, you can tear it apart and convert it. People that was running 602s and can't afford to have a 602 built anymore because it's $5,000 to $10,000 for a 602 versus you can build a pure stock motor for $3,000. You know what I mean? It's really cost efficient, and the more, that class right now is average between 12 and 14 cars at Tri-County. And it's just going to get bigger and bigger because it's more cost efficient. You run pump gas. You cannot run any kind of racing fuel, no E85, no alcohol, no race fuel. It's got to be pump gas. And it's a really nice class.
And in my opinion, it's the fastest growing late model class in the South.
That's a fact.
Because,
And
I mean, I see it.
out.
It does, and anybody can run it. Like, and it's got to be an older chassis. It can't be a brand new Longhorn out there, you know.
Well, it can be a brand new Longhorn, but the way I've got it set, and Isaiah's got it set with what they call the droop rule and stuff like that, it don't matter if you're in a 2000 model or a 2024. The way the droop rule works is it keeps the car from getting as far in dynamics as it can. It holds the car back to where it puts all these cars on an equal playing field, whether it's a 2000 or a 2024.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yes, it's that's what the whole rule package for that class is set up for. It keeps the big money, big name people from coming to that class and dominating, because I don't care if they got a 2024. By the time they put my rule package, or actually Isaiah Day came up with this class, and by the time they put that rule package in effect on that car, it don't matter if it's a 2024 or a 2000. It don't matter, because the car is going to work the same.
Wow, that's cool. Okay, that's awesome.
And
so it's meant for beginners and just anybody, right?
Yeah, it don't matter if you've been racing late models for 25 years or if you never set foot in a late model before. I mean, it's designed for a low-budget, cost-effective place for people to race. And that's Tri-County. What people don't know in the racing world that really needs to know is you're not going to get a better racetrack, a more cost-efficient racetrack than Tri-County Speedway. They got a three-wide racing groove, week in and week out. You know what I mean? And you're looking at no transponder fee, no ATV fee, no entry fee. All you do is pay $30 to get in the pits and go racing. There's very few tracks that do that.
Because, like, all these fees kill people.
That's right. They can't afford to race. The economy is so bad at this point right now, with these racetracks charging, $40 to get in the gate, $15 transponder fee, $30 car entry fee. They're killing themselves by trying to make money. And I understand you can't run a track for absolutely free, but you can't kill the racers at the same time.
Yes. Because, all these fees add up. ATV fee, like you said. I mean, some of that stuff is just outrageous, and I like the way the Days do it because we get a good car count, and it's good racing.
Well, people say, you talk good about there because you work there. No, it's not because I work there. I do work there, but what people don't realize is I'm the tech man at Tri-County Speedway. The Days pay me to do a job, but the Days do not pay me to do a job for them. I do my job for the racers. For every racer that shows up at Tri-County Speedway gets a fair shake. It don't matter if I've never seen you before or I've known you all my life. You're going to get treated the same in that tech shed.
That is awesome.
There's no partiality, no favoritism whatsoever at Tri-County Speedway.
Because I'm not a fan of when I go to a track, and I've seen it before, and I'm not going to name no names, but I've been to a track before where it was just, you could tell they were playing favorites with whoever, and I'm just not a fan of that. And
the only ones is the ones that get the favoritism, but then when they turn around and go to another track and they don't get favoritism, then it's a problem. But the whole thing is I became a tech man for one reason, is because I have not been treated fair by tech officials at other racetracks. I've been racing race cars for over 30 years. I have been to every racetrack in the South, and I'm not bashing any individual racetrack. If you want to go to a racetrack and support that racetrack, I'm happy for the track and you. But on the other hand, racers are very picky people. They always have been, they always will be. So it does not take much to discourage somebody from going to a racetrack, and the tech man can do that, can run a racetrack.
Yes, especially when a tech man doesn't take a certain car, but he takes all these other cars, and it's like, whoa, that throws up a red flag right there.
That's a fact. And but some people, they might say that I show partiality, but everybody that's been in that tech shed knows different. And it don't matter if you a Day or a Dixon or Joe Blow down the street. When you come in that tech shed, you're a racer. I don't look at names, I look at car numbers. So when they come in that shed, they a number.
Awesome.
So I treat everybody the same. Yeah, I do let people slide, but I treat everybody the same. It don't matter who they are or where they're from.
So there was a race. It wasn't the last race. It was the one before that, where we had a bunch of modified drivers, and there were two drivers. I don't remember the name of the town or the drivers' names. I'd have to look up on my race pass. But they was from all the way on the other side of Enterprise, Alabama. It was a father and son team, and they came up there, and I was impressed. I made sure and shouted them out the whole entire night on the announcer, because I wanted them, or PA, I wanted them to come back to that racetrack. And before they left, I saw them when they was getting their payout or whatever, and they didn't have the best finish in the world, but like I went up and saw them leaving and said, hey, thank y'all for coming to race with us, and gave them a pocket cross, and I was like, well, I hope they come back.
Oh, and
I'm sure they had a blast.
Well, Tri-County, I've been to every racetrack in the South, and the only racetrack that can compare to Tri-County as far as racing surface and three-wide racing is Why Not Motorsport Park. It's the only track in the South can compete with the surface at Tri-County. If people want three-wide racing, and that's the funnest racing you'll have, you come to Tri-County Speedway Saturday night, and that's what you're going to have.
And it's going to be like, and I love the fact that today's got a brand new, or new to them, John Deere motor grader, and that helps even more.
Oh, he's just showing off now. He always had a smooth track, but now he's took it to a whole different level. You could literally run go-karts on Tri-County Speedway. It is that smooth.
Yes. Smoother than a baby's butt.
Yes, it is. I'm proud of the whole staff at Tri-County Speedway. From the ladies that work the concession stand, the ladies that work the ticket window, everyone there do a really good job at what their job is.
And I can't imagine what Jamie Bell goes through up there in the tower next to me, having to score everybody and make sure everybody gets in line. And
oh, there's not a doubt. It's a tight-knit family up there, and they work really good together. And everything in racing, it has its ups and downs. Sometimes we run a little later than we should. Sometimes, you know what I mean. But that's racing. That's dirt track racing.
That's with any track.
That's with any track anywhere. We ran 2 months ago. We ran double heats and double features in the same night. That is 10 heats. Well, we ran 5 heats. No, that would be 5 heats and 10 features, and one night was gone by 12 o'clock.
Isn't that man?
That's impressive.
That is, yeah, that's impressive. That's humping it. That's wide open. Doing your job, and everything went smooth. You just don't hear that double features and double heat races.
Heat and double features in one night. That's impressive.
Yeah.
But in racing world, in my opinion, it's going to the Iron Horse late model class.
Because 604s, man, and I know, like, when I go to Deep South, I watch the 604s, and they're great to watch, but 604s then got so expensive, and then the 602, I can remember when Jamie Mazingo, my buddy down the road from me, he bought a 602 crate engine from GM, and he paid like close to $3,000 for it. That's like 4 or 5 years ago. Now that same engine is close to $10,000.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Maybe
And that's the stock package too. You know what I mean? Like they're letting them put, which is legal, they're letting them put bump stops in the right front shock and all that on the 602s now. All they're doing is pricing more and more people out of the class.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Which is putting them in Iron Horse, so I'm fine with it either way. But which is a lot of classes doing that. The pure stock class at Tri-County is out of hand. I mean, it's done got out of hand, so far out of hand that they're factory stocks. You know what I'm saying? And the Bombers now are the pure stock cars. It's just an evolution of racing. And racers do it to themselves. They all want to go faster. They all want this next greatest thing. And all they do is wind up moving themselves to a different class. And then they want to complain about how much it costs.
So let me ask you this. Do you know who Richard Ford is?
No, I've never heard of him.
Okay, so I met him several years ago. We've been friends for a little while now, and he used to run Speedway video productions, and he would always film the super late model races or big races that I would go to. And we were talking one day at East Alabama Motor Speedway, and I went up there for the rescheduled National 100, and it's the only time I've ever been there because it's over 4 hours away. And anyways, me and him were talking, and East Alabama runs the Road Warrior class, which is what their Bombers or factory stocks, whatever it is, used to be.
The factory stocks, yeah, I ran them before.
Yeah, and he was telling me, he said, where I'm from, we got this class. He said they used to be cheap and economical. You could go to a junkyard, and he said, but then all the drivers, they wanted this, they wanted that. Well, then they allowed them to have that. Then they said, well, we want more money. And they said, no, we gave you what you asked for. Now you want more money. Then the class just got out of hand, and it just kind of did what it did, and it didn't make it a whole lot. So, I hate to see that in classes.
Oh, yeah. That just happened in racing, has been happening in racing for, like I said, I've been in racing for over 30 years. And racers do it to themselves, and there's no doubt. Just like the street stock class, they're late models. It's all the street stock is now, the late model on an 8-inch tire. Mine's the quick change. I mean, I have one. What people don't realize is I have race cars, a pile of them. I don't bring them to Tri-County, but I got a pile of them. And I know racing inside and out, but in my opinion, if you want a place to race that is cheap and fun, Tri-County is the place to be.
And they got the best prices on racetrack food. Like I can't have fried food because I got type 2 diabetes. But I tell you this, before I got my diabetes, I could go get chicken tenders and French fries for $6, and it's still the same price, and it's very good.
Oh yeah, them smoked fries. Woo!
Oh man, I haven't tried them yet.
That's what I'm saying. The ladies in the restaurant in there, my hat's off to them. They do a heck of a job.
And I say this all the time too. I brag on this a lot. I've been to a lot of racetracks in my life. I've been to 3 asphalt tracks, Mobile, and then Montgomery, and then, of course, Five Flags. And I've been to Talladega, and I've been to dirt tracks all over the place, Talladega short track. I've been to Mississippi tracks. But I've never been to a racetrack that had when you buy your pit pass, you go inside the concession stands and sit down under an air conditioner and watch the races through the window and eat.
Oh, no, that's unheard of. That's unheard of.
I've never... Yeah, and I have heard of a track that did that. I don't remember where it was, but as far as ones I've ever been to, I've never been to one that was like that.
No. I've never been to but one track. What the MAG is it's racing too. I'm not taking nothing away from the MAG, but Monarch and Tri-County, you can race 3 wide all the way around the racetrack. You got a bottom groove, a middle groove, and a top groove. And all 3 grooves are racing. You might be faster at one than you are the other, but all 3 grooves are racing.
Because I can remember going to Why Not one time, and about 2 years ago, and Jamie Boland was racing his 232 late model, and he was passing cars on the high side, and there were cars trying to stay at the bottom, and he was passing them like they were sitting still. And I love to see racing, because I can't stand going to a racetrack, and it's just one groove, follow the leader. Everybody's scared to go up, scared to go down, you know.
No, that's a fact, because they can't. It ain't that they're scared to, they can't. The track don't have no bite there. But you go to Tri-County, you got bites all the way from the top to the bottom, all the way around the racetrack. Now, your car might work better at the bottom, or it might work better at the top, or it might work better in the middle. But you have a true racy racetrack at Tri-County.
And we've had some of the best races this year. I'm talking about nail-biters. Like I saw several coming to the flag as a drag race, and they won by like a fender, if that. That's right. You don't know who's going to win.
But
and that's like when
I don't watch much of the features anymore because I'm in the Texh shed. But the heat races that I do watch and what features I get to watch is really racy, good racing surface. And see, we're gonna have the factory stocks there. July the 26th. It's either July 26th or July 29th. That weekend, we're bringing the factory stocks back. And you're talking about a show. When you get them boys out there can run 3 wide, you got some racing going on. So I'm looking forward to that because there's a lot of drivers, there's friends of mine that's been wanting to come to Tri-County. This is going to be their opportunity. And so I'm really looking forward to that with the factory stocks coming to Tri-County.
Well, I'm going to tell Warren Perkins because he drives the 182 the 182 car up at Deep South, and he wanted to come to Tri-County one weekend. The Deep South went racing, and we didn't have them on schedule. But now that I know that we got them for the 27th, we can pull some cars now.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, I think it's the 26th. It's the weekend. Be the last weekend of July.
Okay, awesome.
But yeah. And we're gonna
when we're gonna see
have a crowd.
So when we're gonna see Joseph Adams back?
Joseph Adams will be back on the racetrack and probably in July. He's got some big things in the works. And people don't know what class old Mr. Joseph Adams is going to be running, but I got some inside info on that. But he's going to keep it to myself for now. He's going to shock him when he comes back.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I'm excited. I like watching him. I've been watching him for many years race, and I'd like to see him come back and get him a win.
Yeah. He just better make sure it's right when he comes in the Texh shed.
Yeah. Exactly. Hey, look, everybody better make sure you got your cars right, and also make sure and turn in your transponders at the end of the night, because you don't want to end up like some racers and just leave with the transponders and the track loses money, you know.
Well, another thing, people, when it comes to safety at the racetrack, I inspect stuff all the time. Like 2 weeks ago, I inspected the helmets, just for the heck of it in the Texh shed. I made the drivers give me the helmet. And the date on their helmet, 2 of them was 2020. Well, helmet's only good for 5 years. It's 2024. So by next year, they're going to have a new helmet. Well, both of them helmets was bought last year at the Street Stock Nationals. So that's in August of last year. So to let these racers know, when you go to a racetrack like Walnut and purchase one of them helmets that they sell there, make sure you look at the date on the inside of that helmet before you buy it. Because they will sell you a 3 or 4 year old. It'll be a brand new helmet, but it'll be 3 or 4 years old.
Yeah,
that's the reason in my opinion, they sell them as cheap as they are because, you know what I mean, they're so close to being out of date.
Yeah.
But make sure y'all check your dates on your helmet because most helmets are only good for 5 years.
Especially dates on your seatbelts, because if your seatbelts are out of date, that's dangerous, and that's illegal, to have out of date.
Well, it's not just being out of date. People do a lot of welding and burning and cutting on their cars, and they got to watch for fire damage and all that to belts, because if you burn the holes and stuff in them belts, you don't have the full strength of them belts anymore.
And something that I know racers try to save money, but don't buy racing gear and racing equipment from that Chinese company Temu. Don't do it. In my opinion, buy quality stuff, because you want to come home to your family and safe.
Yeah, but you're only as good as your equipment in anything you do. So
yes.
I get it in Texh shed. People, he's cheating. No, he's just doing everything he can to get his car the best he can. When I come in the Texh shed, and I got 3 cars in there, and I check compression on all 3, and the one that won it has a dead on 175 pounds of compression, and the other 2 only had 135 or 140 pounds. They wonder why they're getting outrun. They leaving horsepower at home.
Yeah. And, and safety is, of course, God's my number one thing about the podcast, but safety is high up there with that. And I'm glad to hear you talk about safety, because so many people skip on safety, like no gloves, they don't do this, they don't do that, and the ones that joke about safety are the ones that get hurt.
The key thing to it, I own a company called D&D Fabrication, and I build chassis, I build bodies, I set up race cars. I do a lot of work on race cars, and it will not leave my shop not safe. If it leaves my shop, that means I'm willing to put my son in it. And if I put my son in it,
yeah, because somebody, and I like that, because I've seen so many times, I'll look at a race car, and if this was like, say like this was a plant or a workplace, and an OSHA inspector was to come by, they'd be like, yeah, that piece of junk needs to go to the junkyard. That's not safe. And I see a lot of race cars like that, sadly.
Well, sometimes looks can be deceiving. The bodies and all that, you can be trashed as long as the cage is solid and the seat belt and the seat's right. You know what I mean? Now, I've had them come in there this year, and I'll be like, look, you're not running that like that. Go put some bolts in this. Go, tighten this up, or go change that before I even let them hit the track. And that's one thing I believe in. I always will. And if we don't have the time to do it, we're not racing, is pre-tech inspection of race cars. And that is not to try to find something that's, DQ somebody. That is to make sure they're in a safe race car.
That's right.
Make sure the batteries are covered up. Make sure everything is how it should be.
And, I'm one of those people, I refer to myself as this. I'm the safety Nazi, because nobody wants to talk to the guy that tries to enforce safety, or loves safety stuff. And I'm sure you feel like that a lot of times, because people are like, man, why they got to do this and that? Well, maybe because we want you safe to go home to your family,
Well, it's a liability to me as a person and as a representative of a racetrack to let somebody get on the racetrack in something that's not safe.
Yeah. And,
like they're grown men, when it comes to, at the end of the day, they're grown men. They know what the rules are, what they should have before they get there. My job is just to make sure that they adhere to them rules.
So what's your take on gloves?
I race asphalt, too. You know what I mean? I got both. I run asphalt and dirt. And in my opinion, you should have gloves in all racing. Anytime
I agree.
you have
I think
a chance of fire, you should have gloves on. And that makes it more difficult in dirt. I've done both all my life because you're having to pull tear off that you don't on asphalt. But you can get used to anything. But you go to Pensacola right now, you're not pulling out on the racetrack unless they see gloves on your hands.
Yeah. That's great. That's great.
Stopped.
So do you know Tim Sullivan? So his son, Daniel Sullivan, races. Daniel races the red pure stock at Deep South. He hadn't raced in 2 years because his car is messed up. But Tim Tim grew up racing at the old LA Raceway up there, and at the old Deep South or what? Yeah, LA Raceway, and then he raced at Deep South for years when it opened. So Tim's raced everything, and he told me straight up about 2 years ago. He agrees with gloves, and he's like, look, all these drivers, and I told him about how a lot of these drivers cry and complain about wearing gloves. I can't pull my tear-offs. Well, he told me, he said, you know how you fix that? He said, I make my tear-offs, I bend them in a certain way to where I can grab them with my gloves, and he said, I have no problems wearing gloves.
I do that
but
anyway.
So if anybody would just learn how to do that, then it solves your problem, because when your hands get burnt, don't come to me and say, oh, well, you were right.
Well, that's the whole key, though. If they would enforce the rule, the glove rule, you know what I mean, make the rule and then enforce it, they would get used to it, and it would just be second nature to put the gloves on.
Yes,
like it is on asphalt. Asphalt is second nature. You know, the last thing you do before you take off is put the gloves on. And me, as a dirt racer, not used to it, it took me to get used to it. But now it's second nature. I put them on before I take off.
Well, that's great. And, you know, another thing I like, too, and a lot of people don't like this because it's either claustrophobic to them or they can't get used to it or whatever, but not necessarily the brand name, but like your Hans device, your neck restraint, I love those, too, to keep your neck from snapping.
Well, I've ran both neck braces and Hans device. I'm the opposite of that. I don't believe in a Hans device. I believe in a neck brace. They're both going to do the same thing, but a Hans device is nothing you can take on and off inside the car. You see what I'm saying? When you're in the car locked in, you cannot take the Hans device off inside the car. A neck brace you can. So if something happens and you're trying to get out of a race car, see, a lot of people believe in winning that. I do not believe in winning that because I have wrecked race cars and could not get out the window because of the winning net. Myself, I've had that personally happen, stuck in a race car over a winning net. But, you know what I mean, a winning net should design something to keep it from coming in on the driver, and I do understand that, but that's what the windshield grating is for.
Yeah, and like you're supposed to keep your hands from flying out the window.
Yeah, but it might and might would. The most problem with hands in a race car is getting caught in the steering wheel. You know, it's not really going out the window, getting caught in the steering wheel. But so, like most racetracks now, they don't require winning nets in any class for that reason, because it causes more of a danger than it does a safety advantage. But now neck braces and Hanses, they're for safety. If I catch somebody racing without a neck brace, they coming off the racetrack. If I see it from the pits, they coming off the racetrack. They're not racing without a neck brace.
Oh, that's good. Good. I and you know something. Speaking of when you said the steering wheel, so one of the things I learned from watching NASCAR, I've been watching NASCAR a long, long time, and Danica Patrick, I started watching her when she was still racing it. She would do this, like if she got in a wreck or something, she would let go of the steering wheel and then cross her arms on her, cross her arms on her chest, because 9 times out of 10, if you're holding that steering wheel like that, some of the big forces, it would jar and break your hands or whatever, and I see why she started doing that.
I flipped at Hattiesburg 4 years ago. I flipped 9 times. And the first thing I did was grab my harnesses, you know what I mean? And everything I had on safety-wise did its job. First 3 times I flipped was end over end. You know what I mean? I destroyed a $40,000 car. But it done its job. The cage done its job. The harnesses done its job. My neck brace, everything done its job to where I walked away without a scratch.
That is awesome.
But, yeah, I believe in neck braces, and I actually believe in gloves. But because anytime you're around fire, you need to have them.
You know, I was watching that. So I got a TikTok for the fuel arrestor, and I got a notification from TikTok the other day that one of the racetracks I follow was live. I said, okay, and I went there, And I just so happened to catch the end of it, but it was Southern Oregon Speedway, I think the name of it was. And they got a class of sprint cars up there. It's basically the 360 wing sprint cars like the USCS runs down here, just a little different set of rules. And the guy that was live on the track's page was apparently their photographer or videographer. And this girl was driving a 360 sprint car, and she smacked the wall and flipped. And when she flipped, her fuel cell ignited, and she caught fire and got third-degree burns, got sent to the hospital. And that scared my mule to see that fuel spilling out. And I reached out to him. I never heard nothing back about the fuel safety aspect, but just anything like that, man, people don't realize how fast something can happen in a race car, how bad you can get hurt.
Until it happens. They don't realize how bad or how fast until it happens. Then it's too late because it doesn't happen. That's right. That's in the world in general. You know what I mean? It's like in workplaces and stuff like that. It's not that big of a deal until it happens, and then it's a big deal. But then it's too late.
Yes.
Because it's already happened.
And people like I was telling Robbie a while back. I said, man, I hate to say this. I said, I ain't trying to be mean, but it's going to take somebody local to get burned until they finally realize, well, maybe this is a good idea. Maybe we need to take this serious. That's the same thing with gloves. Until somebody local gets burnt, then they're not going to take it too serious or whatever the case.
Well, a lot of your newer fuel cells, like that fuel cell that I bought and put in my street stock, these wedge fuel cells, it comes with a emergency shutoff valve on it anyway. If you flip the car over, it's got a ball valve that shuts the fuel off anyway. It's all the newer stuff coming with that technology.
Yeah. Because,
the older cars, no, they don't have it. But the newer cars, they pretty much have that technology in them from the get-go.
Yeah, and I try to tell people with the, and I need to show you one of my fuel arresters I got one day. But it's like I look at it as a diaper or a vest that goes around the outside of it. And I'm sure you've seen, you ever seen pig mat before?
Yeah.
So the inside's made of pig mat, and it just soaks up petroleum products. And of course, it's like anything in racing, it'll still take damage, and it'll still. But if it takes you damage and soaks up a good bit of fuel, then it did its job. Then it's one-time use only. If it's damage beyond that. But I just wish more people would take fires, anything in safety around this area in general, more serious than they do.
That's just culture. It's human nature and culture.
Yes.
You realize, dirt racing is redneck.
Pretty much. This is rated R for redneck is one of the phrases I like to use.
Yeah, it is. It is what rednecks do on a Friday or Saturday night to see who's going to be, honored as number one that particular night.
Exactly.
It might be number 50 the next Saturday night, but that one night, they were number one.
That's right.
But I like to give a shout out to Circle T Designs and A1 Air and stuff like that. They do a lot for me and my company at D&D Fabrication.
Awesome. So real quick before we go, shout out all your sponsors and talk about your business and where they can look you up, your business on Facebook or.
My business, which is not something I do for a living. My business in D&D Fabrication is to help low-budget racers get the look and the quality of high-dollar racing. So I don't do it for a living. I do it to help fellow racers out that can't afford, the big-time companies and all that to do their fab work or their setup work or something like that. But it's D&D Fabrication. You can look it up on Facebook. It's more than just me and D&D Fabrication. Joseph Adams is a part of D&D Fabrication. Chad Demark's a part of D&D Fabrication. It's not just me. There's a lot of things go in to D&D. D&D is not just a fabrication shop. It's a whole racing family. And just helps each other out year round. It ain't just during racing season. So if anybody needs any help, information, I mean, you can hit me up on Messenger, and you need some setup information or, you know, something to help improve your racing product, just give me a shout on Messenger, private message, and I'll be happy to help you out.
Well, that's awesome. So I encourage everybody to come out to Tri-County Speedway this weekend, and you always got to go. If you're racing, you got to stop by and see Mr. James at the Texh shed. Get your car scaled in.
Well, I sure appreciate you having me on the show. Y'all have a
no
good
problem. It's been great.
evening.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
All right. All right, let me scroll up here and give him a cheer. All right, so that was James Dixon, the tech man at the racetrack I work for at Tri-County Speedway. Yeah, like he said, look up D&D Fabrication on Facebook. I think they have a Facebook group. Any kind of race car needs, he's got you. All right, so now let's bring on Kirven Thomas. What's up, Kirven? How you doing?
What's going on, man? Just living a dream.
Man, that's great. Well, I tell you what, for those who don't know, Kirven drives a 76 late model and the Iron Horse, which is what me and James were just talking about. And you had one of the best runs I've ever seen you do last race. You won your heat race and had a darn good feature.
Yeah, this is actually truly my rookie year of running a late model. Or actually,
okay.
I've always been the crew chief over Trip. My son, he always raced. So this is the first year I've become a driver.
Oh,
so
okay. I thought you used to drive years ago.
Trip always drove.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, because I was thinking, because I've always said that you come out of retirement to come race. I didn't realize that you'd never raced before.
Well, I did back when I was like 14, 15 years old, but that's been years ago. But, we always, raced as a family, and that's what Trip was always into. So now since he's grown and doing his thing, I decided I was going to race this year. And I've had a blast doing it.
Well, it looks like it come natural to you because you did real good last race.
Oh, yeah, I did. I kind of just overdrove it with like 2 laps to go. So I almost got to go see my buddy James in the Texh shed.
That'd have been awesome. I want to see you and Jamie finish 1-2 this weekend.
I sure hope so. Like we've kind of struggled a little bit this week. My buddy Zach had built me a new motor to put in because I needed a freshened motor, and then we was breaking it in not for last, and we just had some problems, so we had to swap engines and back to the motor we got. And I've been running all year.
Ooh, that's some buzzard luck right there.
That's some buzzard luck. That's what you call it.
Man, that sucks. Yeah, but I know Zach was disappointed because he eats, breathes, and sleeps race cars.
He does. He's helped me out so much this year. With him trying to get his super late model ready, plus helping me. He's a good guy.
Well, I'm excited to see him run the Super because he's been talking about that car for a while, and I'm excited to see that.
We're actually going next weekend to Why Not for him to run it.
Oh,
we're all going
that's going to be awesome.
Next Saturday night. I think the Mississippi Late Model Series is coming.
Oh,
Why Not?
Yes,
so we're all going to Why Not next weekend.
Well, I tell you what, he'll be running against the Flying Brian Rickman and all the Rickmans and all. I would love to see him finish above one of those big guys. That'd be awesome.
Oh, yeah, me too. And, it's like he said, he told me the other night, he was over here, he said, man, I've had more fun helping you this year than actually racing.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, and honestly, I've come a long way this year from where I started.
I agree, because now now it looks like you're just passing people left and right.
Yeah, you know, because my goal was the first night I went out, I didn't want to spin out in the feature. Well, I done that. Then I didn't want to get lapped. I done that, and then a couple of weeks ago I led every lap but the last lap in the heat race, and DG got by me. I slipped up, and then last weekend I won the heat race and then had to eat some hot dogs, which was pretty fun. So.
Oh, that was funny. I had a field day with that hot dog contest. I told Jamie, I said, man, I hope you're on the pole because I want you to eat them hot dogs and you're going to be crapping like a crippled goose in the feature.
I told Casey all week, I said, I'll screw around and win this week. I had to eat hot dogs, and I'm not a hot dog fan.
Oh, I hate them.
Yeah. But, you know, it was fun for the crowd. You know, we all had a good time.
Oh, and what was it? I think that, like, both the modifieds and y'all had tied with 5 apiece, right?
Yeah, it was something like that, yeah.
And then Jamie said something like, I can't believe that's all they ate was only 5 hot dogs. I said, shoot, man, I wouldn't even been able to eat one.
Yeah, because I'm not a hot dog fan and ain't a ketchup fan, but, you know, the days kind of put a kink and all that. It was fun, you know what I mean.
Oh, look, the fans loved it because, like, the fans were, like, shoving each other out of the way just so they could get beside that table and watch y'all.
Oh, yeah. And that's what it's all about, you know, is getting fans there.
Yeah, the fans,
yeah.
Cause the fans saw something they've never seen in a racetrack before. Now they're going to want to come back.
That's right. That's kind of like the bus races used to be at Flomaton.
Oh, that was
school
awesome.
Bus races. You know, everybody always come and watch the school bus.
That is the most redneck thing you will ever see is school bus racing. And, like, I watched it for years, and then I remember Shep Lucas won one time, and, like, he had a blown, like, he was riding out there on the brake rotor, and I won't never forget that, brake drum, I mean. And then, like, then I went to Why Not one time, and Rodney Wing, the owner of Why Not, he was out there racing school buses with Jimbo McDuffie. And Jimbo McDuffie was going around there, and they started throwing firecrackers at each other.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I miss
it's
school bus racing.
Yeah, I do too. You know, it was something different. So
I don't know, maybe one day the Days could do a special race up there, and they could have the school buses back, and that would draw a crowd.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But, yeah, like, this year's been a blast to me, man. Me and Casey, we've had a ball this year racing. So.
And it's been good side-by-side racing. Every class has been excellent.
It really has. It hadn't been a lot of beating and banging. You know, it's been a little bit, but not nobody trying to tear nobody's junk up. You know, everybody's racing respectfully. You know. That's like a couple weeks ago. I hated that when, you know, James and them were talking about the safety stuff. That Brady Hall hit that wall hard that night.
Oh, gosh, he did.
He did, and then Jamie, she got to hollering on the race receiver, shut him down. You know, in my opinion, everybody ought to have them race receivers in their helmets. Because you never know.
Yes, they should.
Because they needed to get to that kid and get to him in a hurry. And, you know, he walked out of there without a scratch.
That's a blessing from God. He walked out of that without a scratch.
It was. Because, I mean, he hit hard.
And that's
he had finally had that car hooking up, too.
Yes.
You know.
That reminds me of Preston Sones. When Preston Sones, like, I just knew it was bad. When Preston Sones hit that wall in the modified in turn 4, that scared my mule. And like I was telling James earlier, I consider myself the safety Nazi. I'm the guy that nobody wants to talk to about safety because, he's going to bring up safety. But that's the reason why I bring up safety, especially fuel safety, because it's super important. That's like I watched that girl get burned in that sprint car wreck, and she got burned, and I'm going to keep talking about fuel safety till it just becomes super important. But nobody, I don't know why people don't take safety more serious nowadays.
You know, it's just hard to say, you know. Because,
And
you know, I always make sure I never cut corners on safety.
that's
You
good.
know, we replace harnesses every year, you know, everything.
That's great. That's the way to do it, because don't in my opinion, don't buy your safety gear from Temu or the dollar store. Don't buy that Chinese
That's
junk.
right.
Make sure you got good safety stuff, because I mean, I've seen some race cars where, like I was telling James earlier, I've seen some race cars where it looked like a blind mime went out there with a welder and just sit there, bang, 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 and it's like gobs of welds on there. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you got to do it right. And even like in the Iron Horse class, we're toting the mail in it. You know, we got the smaller engines, but we're still flying.
So Jamie was telling me this, Mazingo was telling me this. He said that y'all are turning faster lap times than the IMCA modifieds are.
We're right there at it.
That's amazing. I want
to say the other night, and I have to go back and look. I want to say me and Flash was in the high 15s.
Wow.
Other night. You know, don't quote me on that. I have to go back and look at race pass. I know he was 0.3 faster than I was. Because each week I kind of try to gauge off of him. But no, he's fast.
Yeah, he's fast. He's fast.
Yeah.
He's probably the fastest car out there, isn't he?
In the Iron Horse, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was, because I mean, each week, I mean, I don't know the reason why they gave him the nickname the Florella Flash, but I just know Flash.
That's all I've ever known him. Yeah, that's all I've ever known him was Florida Flash.
I wonder how long he's been racing.
Ooh, I don't know. We'll have to ask him this weekend.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah,
that's kind of got me curious, because I know I'm glad to see so many. And Thomas Davis told me recently he's got an Iron Horse, and he told me he's got something he was going through is why he hadn't been able to race this year. But I think he plans on coming back with his Iron Horse, and I'm glad to see it. It's like I was telling James, it's the fastest growing late model class in the South.
And it's you know, no racing's cheap, but to me it's probably the cheapest racing I've ever been in. You know, because we own a certain, we own droop, we own a certain right rear tire, so it makes it a even playing field. You know, we own 6,000 ships, so we can't just sit there and buzz the motor hard. So I mean, it's a fun class. I've really enjoyed it.
And I didn't realize this till James told me this. But I thought that it had to be an older chassis only. It couldn't be a brand new Longhorn. But according to him, you can have a new Longhorn or whatever you want. But he said you have to run that droop rule, and it makes it even for everybody.
Yeah. See, like my car is a 2014 or 15 Victory Circle. Like they don't even make them cars no more, I don't think.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
It's a good car.
It's a good car. And I honestly say this, when I first got it, I did not like it.
Really?
But the more I've worked on it, and Zach's helped me, and Larry Fox helped me, and James has actually helped me a good bit, we've made it, a good car. And then, it's getting there.
Well, I tell you what, old Leadfoot Larry, they call him, or as I call him, Fred Flintstone, he's fast, and anything, like that was a heartbreaker in that modified race. So Randall Schwetz brought his IMCA modified down, and he come out there, and he's never won at Tri-County before. And he won at Deep South this year in the UMP, but not IMCA. And he come there, and with like 2 laps to go, I seen Larry's car smoking real bad. I said, what in the world? Why is he smoking? And then Randall passed him and won the race and won the 1,000. And then I seen Larry comment on his post, and it turns out Larry had a blown tire. And I said, man, I hate that.
I do too. And
that's
like in his
man.
Pierce talk the other night. I forgot where he finished, but he still turned the fastest time.
Wow.
And he didn't win the race. You know.
So at Northwest Florida, I was filming the races one night a few months ago for the Southern Dirt Track Report, and I got it all on video in our supporters group. But like, Larry had the lead in the pure stock race and was, wow, he was gone. He was checking out on him, and with 2 laps, the last lap, all of a sudden his car starts slowing down.
Yeah.
I said, what in the world? He won the race. He was so far ahead. He won the race. Yeah, and then he told me he broke. And I told him, I said, man, you had the Flintstone across the finish line, didn't you?
Yeah. He actually broke his axle that night. So.
Golly, man. I'm glad he was able to win because them axles ain't cheap.
No, they really ain't. You know, and that pure stock class, just like James said, is getting more to a factory stock.
Yes.
They're right there at it.
And this is just my opinion, and I'm somebody may not like it, but it's all right. So I think that all these classes need to stay as stock or as cheap as possible, instead of dwarfing and allowing this and allowing that and allowing this and allowing that. That's like all these classes that they start off as a bomber class, and then they end up dwarfing into this super, super expensive car, and your average redneck like me can't go to a junkyard and buy a car at that point.
No.
You know, it's like it dwarfs into this $20,000 what used to be a bomber car, and I'm not a fan of, you know, keep adding until it gets prices themselves out of.
Yeah, because like the bomber class now is what pure stock used to be.
Wow.
And the pure stock is factory stocks now. So.
That's crazy, man. It's just getting out of hand.
It does, and does quick. You know, and that's what I like about this Iron Horse class. The rules fit the class, and it makes a person like me that can't afford to bolt on 4 brand new tires every week, and I can compete. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, because we just don't burn them up.
Yeah, and so explain to everybody, because it's the cheapest set of Hoosier late model tires, right?
Yeah, we have to run. We can run D21s all the way around, but the right rear we have to run a D55.
D55.
But now we also can a D55, which is a harder tire, and we also can run a 1350 late model or super late model tires, like pull off. We can run them tires too on the left rear and both of the fronts. The right rear has to be a D55.
Oh, it has to be a D55. Okay.
Yeah, it has to be a D55.
Okay.
So.
And
then
not those. You're on the droop rule?
Yeah. We and the droop rule, you know, it kind of helps keep the car, you know, where it's competable, where, you know, you can compete against folks with money.
And I'm glad they got the chip rule too, because that keeps people from trying to cheat and all this and that, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You know, everybody's on a 6,000 chip, so you know everybody's on the same playing field. You know, everybody don't run the same set of shocks. You know, everybody's a little different. You know, got their different taste in shocks.
Yeah.
But you know, which I run Dark Horses, Robert Crabtree's. You know, he's been real good to me.
That's awesome.
So so everybody's everybody's got their picks they like.
So you said Dark Horse is the ones you run?
Dark Horses. Yes, Dark Horse shocks is what I run.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you know, everybody needs a good shock on your race car. You don't want something cheap on there that's going to break within 2 laps, you know.
No, you don't. And it helps on the handling.
Oh, I bet that makes a huge.
It does. When I first got this car, I didn't have any shocks, and it made a world of difference when I put them on. So.
Wow, that's awesome.
But
And
yeah.
you know, I tell people all the time, it's the cheapest late model that you can get into.
It really is. It really is. I mean, because we have to run 93 pump gas, so you're not on av gas, you're not on 110, 115. I mean, you got to go to the gas station and buy your pump gas.
That's awesome.
We own a 2-barrel carburetor. So, I mean, it's a pure stock motor and a late model chassis.
Awesome. That is cool.
Yep. That's basically what it is.
Well, so people, like, if people want to look up the rules, all they got to do is go to tri-countyspeedway.com. It's on our website. They can click the rules, and it's also on the Facebook page, too.
Yeah, it is. It is. Because I go to them pretty regular to look at them.
Well, that's cool.
You know. Yeah. All the rules,
and
all
also
the are on that Facebook page.
Yeah, that's great because it makes it easy to access them, and everybody can share it and find the rules. And
yeah, exactly.
So did you hear? And you may have been one of the ones that voted, but did you hear that we won Track of the Year from that gettingthestands.com?
I did not. I did not hear that.
So, okay. So what it is? So Miss Marilyn shared about it a while back on our Facebook. So what it is a guy named Scott Kosak. He was on my show a few weeks ago. Super nice guy. And he lives right above Chicago, Illinois, somewhere. And he started a website. He used to be, he had two different ones, racing.in and gettingthestands.com. Well, then he merged them, and it's now gettingthestands.com. And so what it is, it's the world's largest racetrack directory on the Internet. And, like, you have all kind of directories to look up businesses. Well, this one is for racetracks only. Drag strips, go-kart tracks, dirt tracks, asphalt tracks, NASCAR tracks. If there's a racetrack, it's listed on their website. And so the cool thing is they had a promotion where they do a track of the year for each state in all 50 states. And if you win track of the year, what you win is a free race date promotion for a year. So their website, basically, you go there and you can look up racetracks by state. And it's got every single racetrack listed except for that most of these racetracks, a lot of them, these racetracks don't even know that they have a profile on there. And it's free to claim a profile. So what they'll do is they'll go in there and they'll say, like, you go to Alabama and you want to search Tri-County. You just type in Flomaton and it pulls up all the racetracks around Flomaton. And then you'll see Tri-County and you'll click it. And it's got the address, it's got a website, and it's got all the information that each track adds. But then there's a lot of them that's not claimed, so it's just blank, and it may have the wrong address. So I encourage all these racetracks and maybe listening to go in there. It's free to edit your profile. But what we won for Track of the Year is, so what Scott and his team do is, so they promote your racetrack on their website for free for a year. So they'll promote all your big races, all your regular races, and then they promote it on their Facebook too, which has got over, I think it's 60,000 followers or something like that on their Facebook. And the website just gets millions of traffic each year. And then once your promotion is up, if you win, you can choose to renew that, and you'll pay, I think it's like $250 a year or something like that. And then if you don't win, you can still pay that, and they'll promote you. But that was a really huge deal because out of all these tracks in the state of Alabama, we had a bunch of, like, I tagged everybody to go vote, and they went and voted for us, and then we won, which is cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. You know, because the Day family works hard. The Day family works hard on that track.
They do,
know,
and
they do.
I'm gonna send you the link later, and then you can share it if you want to, and share it with people. But yeah, that was a huge deal because that actually not only put us on the map, literally, but like now everybody sees, wow, Tri-County Speedway won this award. Maybe this track's got it going on. Let's go see what they got. And so Miss Marilyn said that she was going to take it and print it off and put it at the ticket window for everybody to see, so that'd be cool.
That'd be cool, yeah. It is. I mean, because it's a fun little track. Now, as a driver, you up on the wheel. I mean, you getting after it. But you got room to move around. You got room to move around. You can run 2 wide, 3 wide. You know, so the day family does a good job of keeping the track pretty.
And they know what they're doing. And I tell you this, they don't have their favorites, you know. And this year, we've had more fans in the stands this year than we have last year, because there's way more fans this year. I mean, things are picking up for us down there.
It is too, but and it's during summertime football season and all that, people got kids. You know, they got to go to football games, and it's hard to go to a Friday night football game and then come to a race that's on Saturday night.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people can't just afford that.
And I tell you
then
what,
then you're right around the pits, and the pits are full of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I tell you this is just my personal opinion. I love my football. Well, I say I love football. I'm not a big fan of football except for local high school football. I go to a Clark Prep game. I love that. But now when it comes to racing, I'm going to pick racing over football every day of the week, even Alabama.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's just more fun than football. It's just more exciting to hear a high horsepower race car sling some mud than a bunch of college athletes tackling each other. And I like my Alabama football, but I don't know. It's just more exciting. Now if they want to put race car, well, I guess they just put race cars on a football field. I guess that'd be a demo derby at that point.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, man, it's been a fun year for sure. We've had a good time.
So you got any sponsors or anybody you want to shout out?
Man, one's Thomas Motorsports, that's my family. Manus Racing, which is my uncle and them, they drive the 84 Pure Stock car. Pocket Motorsports, Zach and Haley, they do a lot for me. Tripping, he helps me a good bit. So it's just mainly a bunch of different people. We don't have a lot of big sponsors. James has helped me. James has helped me a lot. If I have a question, I can ride over to Texh and he can, he'll give me his advice. Or if I pull off the track, he'll come tell me, hey, you might want to make this adjustment. He's done that a few times for me. And then Larry, I had the car all out of whack, and Larry Fault walked over there and said, hey, change this, and it made the car 100%. So, I got good people helping me.
I tell you who I'm excited to see race is Jacob Gregory.
Man, let me tell you about that old boy. That old boy, I'm ready to see him in it modified. When I went and picked my motor, this new motor up Sunday, I seen his modified. So hopefully he'll have it this weekend.
Oh, I hope so, because he's been telling me about it for a long time. Because he lives right down the road from me in Whiteley. And he tells me all the time, man, I'm so excited. Then he showed me a picture of his car and said, yeah, I got it up there at Zach's. And I said, man, I can't wait till you get to race it, man.
Yeah, I'm hoping this weekend he's going to get to break it out. So.
Man, that'd be great, man, because as much as he works during the week, he needs him a good escape, and that race car is a good way to do it.
A good way to. I picked at him the other day when I went to pick the motor up. They was actually working on. Zach actually has another late model that he's going to run 604 again, so he can kind of just run where he can just run local when the Super's not running. And I told Jacob, I said, you just need to go ahead and get you an iron horse car and be done with it. He said, I might. So.
Look, let me tell you, riding with him to and from the tracks for Jamie and all them, he's talked a lot about, man, I really want me an iron horse late model. I really do. I really want me one. And then out of the blue, he said, oh, I got me an IMC modified. I'm going modified racing. I said, oh, okay.
Yep. He'll
I like
it.
Bo Jacobs.
I think he'll do all right. He just needs to get seat time. And
Yeah,
I'll be the first
time.
one. I will be the first one to tell you it takes seat time.
And you can't win it on the
getting,
first lap.
You can't win on the first lap. And each week I'm getting more and more comfortable in mine. So,
Heck, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's like my buddy Christian Porter. He's just had bad luck all year.
Oh gosh, that buzzard luck been biting him.
It has been biting him up. He's been to 2 or 3 motors this year, and then he actually called me right before I got on here and was talking to him about some stuff, and he's like, "Man, I'm gonna have to miss this weekend."
Oh.
And he was telling me the reason why. So like, we're gonna get it right. So
I tell you what, them Porter boys, man, they've been racing a while.
They have. So I mean, it's going to be a fun class. If everybody shows up at the same time, that's going to be a big class.
Yes, I guarantee you. Like I hear stories, like Miss Marilyn will tell me that she hears of so and so building a car or so and so building one, and then you'll hear. I bet you there's at least. I may be wrong, and I don't mind admitting I'm wrong sometimes, but like I bet you there's 18 iron horses out there right now, between all the ones that's broke and the ones that can't race for whatever reason, or
Yeah, because like Thomas Day, they have 2.
That's right. Jeb's got one now.
Yep. So I mean that class is growing for sure.
Well, I encourage everybody to come out this weekend, watch Kirven race in the 76. Be sure and let him know you're cheering for him. Buy you a pit pass and go look at his car. And so, don't you have a Facebook for Thomas Motorsports?
I do, but I hadn't used it in a long time. I mean, you can pull me or Casey up on our Facebooks.
Okay.
Or even Tripp. He's online all the time.
Okay, cool.
I do TikToks. I try to make some TikTok videos every week.
Awesome.
Just,
I need to look you up on TikTok.
Oh yeah, I got all kinds of TikToks.
That's awesome.
But that's how you get your name out there. It's social media.
Yes. Without social media, it's like, and I see this is a killer for racetracks. When I see racetracks that use social media in the wrong way, or they don't post enough, and I know, and this is just my opinion, and I see that, and I've said this before on my show, and it drives me up the wall when I see a racetrack, and I'm not gonna name racetracks, so I don't do that. But like when I see a racetrack and they have a flyer advertising the race, and the flyer is so blurry and so grainy you can't even read what's on the flyer. And it looks like somebody with a computer virus went in there and just destroyed and it's simple things. Make sure you have the clearest picture you can post on there, especially when you're advertising pictures of your racetrack. You don't want it looks more professional, and I see that a lot where tracks don't realize that they're,
They do. And it takes the whole group, to run a racetrack and run a race car, Like
it does. It's not easy.
Yeah, like here at the shop, usually it's just me and Tripp comes every now and then. But when you go to the racetrack, it takes a whole team. From getting the car unloaded, grooving or grinding tires, making sure tear-offs are on the helmet. It takes a whole group of people to do it, and that's from bombers all the way up to 602 super late models.
Yes, and I'm excited to see Brandon Lacerte back this weekend.
Yeah, me too. He's had some rough luck too, but it's a little story behind why he hasn't raced in a little bit too. And I'm going to tell you how big heart he is. He's been overseas, and then he was running pure stock, and he decided he wanted to go factory stock racing. But shoot, the last street stock nationals that we ran in, he loaned us his motor because ours was not ready. And before the street stocks was over, we had everything but his body in Tripp's car.
Wow.
Like that man, he made sure Tripp got there. So
that's awesome.
And so we just turned around and built his car back as a factory stock.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
he's just trying to get seat time. Trying to learn the car.
Well, I tell you what, to tell you how highly I think of him. So he came to me a while back, or messaged me on Facebook, and was like, "Hey, Jared," I said, "What about if I do some shirt merch giveaways?" I was like, "Oh, sure." And so when I got down from the tower, I went directly after the drivers' meeting and met him in his trailer, and I got pictures of him, and I forgot to post them. I need to post them, but I got pictures of him donating shirts by his car, and like every weekend, I give away 2 of his shirts over the PA system, and then now he's got the little Old Sparty armbands I give out too. And then he told me today or yesterday, I think today, he's got some hero cards that he's gonna pass out. So all you fans need to get you a hero card, and he's got plenty of shirts we're giving away. So.
Oh yeah. And like we're actually. Sparty will be at Street Stock Nationals this year.
Oh, cool.
He's got a good buddy of his that they was in the Navy together that used to race, and how Brandon got into racing. He hasn't raced in a few years. And me and Brandon was talking in the shop one day. We come up with an idea to letting Jason Farmer drive Sparty at Street Stock Nationals. So that's what's going to happen.
That is the race of races. That is one race I look forward to every year.
Oh, yeah, me too. So.
And, I'm usually I done got to where I pick the small races over the big races because big races usually end in a wreck fest and, you destroy stuff. But now the Street Stock Nationals, I'll say this. It is the best and biggest race in the South. I mean, you can't get no bigger than Street Stock Nationals. I love the House of Book.
Yeah, and it's 2 classes of cars.
Yes. I love that. And I love that they combine the pure stocks with the factory stocks to give us local guys a chance to go over there,
That's right. So I won't be racing in it, unless somebody gives me a ride, but I ain't asking for all that. But we'll have Old Sparty over there, Bryson Manus in the 84. He'll have his pure stock over there. TJ Grimes will be there. It'd be a lot of, our local guys there.
Because Bryson's driving the old Flintstone mobile, so
that's
a fast car.
Yeah, he's got that. So he's loving it too.
I mean, he's done. I've watched him win a bunch of races. Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet that car is turning some good lap times too.
Oh yeah, it is.
So one more thing before you go. Did you know? Okay, so do you use my race pass any?
I do.
Okay, so a lot of people don't know this, and I got to start telling more people this. But did you know that you can edit your profile on my race pass?
I didn't know that.
So, okay, this is pretty cool. I've never actually done it because I don't have a race car. One day I'm going to have one.
Yeah.
But like Jamie, I've told Jamie this, and if you go to my race pass, if you notice, when you look at driver stats and stuff, I use the free one. One day I'm going to get the yearly subscription when I get a better
so that's
position.
What I have.
Okay, good. So the cool thing about my race pass, even drivers can go in there and they can edit their profile. And what you do is you go in there, and I'll have to look it up and send it to you. But you can go in there, you can edit where you're from, you can put a picture of you and your race car on there, and you can put all your information about your racing and what tracks you race at. And that way, when people go into my race pass and they see your name, they can click on it, and then they can put a picture with a name, which is cool because it shows your race car and it shows your stats. Because people like me, because I'm a tech guru, so I love to look at that stuff. I love to read where they're from, whatever, and then it shows how many wins they have through the year and stuff. So that's cool.
Yeah, because that's how I've been keeping up with points this year. You know.
Oh, good.
Well, like when me and Casey first started racing this year, we've never points raced. And I was like, you know, we might not. Well, one reason we're working so hard this week to get ready for Saturday night, I'm sitting third in points.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, you know, you got to be there. So, and I think it's Flash. I can't never remember the guy that drives the 114. What's his name?
Luke Taylor.
Yeah, he's in second and I'm in third.
Okay, awesome. So how many points are you out from second?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
You know what? I'm gonna look because I got my race pass on my phone right here.
Yeah.
All right. So, and one cool thing about my race pass, because I got me a profile set up with them, and you can add tracks as your favorite track. That way you don't sit there and manually search it every time. So I got Tri-County as my favorite. All right, so let me go in here and let's see. Family information. All right, points. Here we go. 602 late models, pure stock, modified, bombers, Iron Horse. Okay. So now it's showing Luke Taylor's leading in points. Wow, he's got 321. And it's showing David Wyndham with 311, and then you're in third with 287. And Shannon Martin's got 275. So you've got a big cushion. So actually, you're pretty close to David Wyndham. You could pass him in points this weekend.
Yeah. If I could get, you know, just keep being consistent, you know, it's going to be a good year.
Wow, because it's showing here you're only 34 points out. That's not a lot, so that's pretty cool.
No, that is. So.
Wow, well, I hope you have a good weekend of racing. And is there anything else you want to say before we end the show?
No, man, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody at the racetrack this weekend.
Well, awesome. All right, well, everybody go watch the 76 this weekend and Iron Horse. And come see us, and y'all get to hear me on the announce booth, so it'll be a lot of fun. Tri-County Speedway is the place to be this weekend, so thanks for calling in. We'll see you later.
Hi, man. Thanks.
Later. All right, so that was Kirven Thomas in the 76. So let me play my song to end the show here. This is from Redeemed, the Christian rap artist. Y'all listen to this song and tell me what you think. Leave a comment. Send me a message on what you think of this song. Watch the music video. It just dropped. Josh Richards is his name, and Redeemed is the artist's name. So, y'all be sure and let me know what you think. What a super, super awesome message in this song. God is good. Real quick, I forgot about this. I said I was going to talk about Deep South Speedway and talk about, Hattiesburg Speedway. I smooth forgot. So Artie, my buddy Artie, everybody knows Artie, runs Southern Dirt Track Report. He is going to Hattiesburg Speedway Friday night, so look for videos on the Southern Dirt Track Report supporters, and you can find all my videos there too at $4.99 a month. That's where all of our videos are. I mean, anybody can pay $4.99 a month. I mean, you get to see all kind of racing videos from all the local tracks me and Artie goes to. And except I don't film at Tri-County because I'm the announcer, so I don't have time to film and announce. But I film at Deep South and Northwest Florida and other tracks I go to. And Hattiesburg Speedway, so my friend Ron Southern, shout out to Ron Southern, makes all my logos. He's my brother in Christ. He's one of my really, really awesome friends that I think highly of. I hope Ron and Artie get to come this weekend. But so they're racing Friday night. Pete Walton's USCS Outlaw Wing Sprint Cars, 360 Wing Sprint Cars. Y'all go look up Hattiesburg Speedway Racing on Facebook. They also have another page, Hattiesburg Speedway. They got two pages. I never understood about that. But go follow both pages and go watch the USCS Outlaw Wing Sprint Cars. Donald Parker, Ernie Parker's a flag man. Donald Parker, That's somebody else I think highly of. I love me some Donald Parker, man. He is awesome. They run the pure streets. They run the street stocks. They run the stingers. They run the late models. I think it's 604 late models. And so, but this weekend, Pike County's got their big race. So Hattiesburg dropped 2 of their classes for this weekend. I think it was the stingers and the late models, but they are running the street stocks. So hopefully they'll have a full field of street stocks at Hattiesburg Speedway Friday. And I know Pike County's racing Friday night also, so hopefully the car count won't take too much from, Hattiesburg on Friday. But I encourage everybody to go to Hattiesburg Speedway Friday night, the action track. And as Donald Parker likes to say, they got and Ron says it too. Ron's the chaplain and the announcer up there. So Ron likes to say this too. The home of champions. That's what's on their shirt. Shout out to Ron. Thanks for the shirt. But buy you a T-shirt there too at Hattiesburg Speedway. But yeah, it's called the home of champions because they had the champion in street stock in the country up there, which is the hippie Ricky Odom. He's a champion. And then, of course, they had Chase Cooper, late model champion for Crate Racing USA. That's 2 world champions at little old Hattiesburg Speedway out in the middle of nowhere. Isn't that cool? And they're also looking for sponsors for the racetrack. Hit up Donald Parker if you'd like to sponsor the racetrack because he'd love to have your sponsorship. And they also do roasted corn there. The best roasted corn you'll ever eat in your life. I'm telling you. And tell Donald Parker and Ron I sent you if you go Friday night. I hope you get to see Artie. By the way, today's Artie's birthday. So for those who's listening, shout out, happy birthday, Artie Schick. I made a huge post today on the Southern Dirt Track Report Facebook. Go check it out. And check out Artie's Cash App on there in the comment section if you want to donate to help Artie for his birthday. If you want to just give him a tip or something because he's been going through a lot here lately. His car's been breaking down on him and messing up, and his job's been kind of messed up, and because they're doing away with like he does the state inspections up there for the towing company he works for, and Louisiana is doing away with the state inspections on vehicles now, so he's having to deal with that, his position going away and whatnot. So y'all keep Artie in your prayers, man, and hope he gets his car back going because I want to see him go to a bunch more races this year. That's my brother in Christ, man. I love my buddy Artie Schick, man. That's my dude, man. So y'all lift him up in your prayers, and then of course Deep South Speedway. I don't think they're racing this weekend, but the next weekend they got fireworks, the whole 9 yards for the 4th of July weekend races. So I plan on being there, hopefully. And y'all say a prayer for me because my transmission's going out in my truck, and it's been a nightmare. My transmission in my Nissan went out in 2018. Couldn't afford to get a transmission, so it's just sitting in the shop over there. But I am going to get one for that one eventually. But right now my focus is going to get mine fixed in my blue Colorado, and let's just say I'm not a fan of General Motors, what they're doing. Long story. Message me if you want to hear it. But y'all just pray for me that my transmission I think it's about to put me down. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do about getting a new one, torque converters, going out on it. It's a long story, but y'all say a prayer for me that I don't stress out too much over it because I know that God's got this. God is the ultimate healer. He's the ultimate provider. Trust in God, what you're going through in life. God's awesome, y'all. I'm telling you, man, I've got all kinds of stories of how God is awesome and what he's done in my life, all kind of miracles that I've witnessed firsthand. If you want to know, if you want to hear some stories of how awesome God is, you hit me up because you can hit me up on Coon Hunters Outdoors Ministries on Facebook, which is my ministry. Tell people about coon hunting, teach them about Jesus, and then you can also send me a message on my personal Facebook, Jared Hudson, and I'll be glad to tell you about Jesus, how awesome he is. And, of course, I got my shout-out to Jason Katz with Quake Radio. I volunteer with a Christian radio station. It's Quake OIC Praise News, where music is therapy is the name of the station. Quake stands for King Without a Crown, every day with a K. So y'all look us up. We have an online radio station, 24/7 Christian music, underground Christian rap music, and then Christian rock music. And then in the mornings, we play like your K-Love type music. We play this. Most of the music we play is the music that K-Love won't play or don't play. So if you want a good Christian radio station to listen to, I can send you our station. And then, of course, I do my Shooting Straight ministry show. I do it every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central. And this Monday, I got a guest, a Christian rock group called Reborn is going to come on my show Monday night. I usually do it on Tuesdays, but they're available Monday, so I swapped to Monday. So I'm going to do a show Monday night, which is cool. And we just talk Jesus for an hour and talk hunting and fishing, have like a good Bible discussion. And then if you want to come on this podcast, you let me know. God first, safety, then racing, in that order. And so I'd love to talk fuel safety with you. I would love to earn your business at Fuel Arrestor. Race Safer Fuel Arrestor, LLC.com. Please buy one from us. It would mean the world to me and Robbie. Robbie invented it. Shout out to Robbie Johns, man. He's done a lot for me. I talk to Robbie all the time. That's one of my other brothers in Christ. Robbie's done a lot for me, man. He's done a lot for the racing community. I don't care what anybody says. He's done a lot for the racing community. He's done things that people don't even realize in racing. He's been racing since 1987. His dad raced sprint cars in the 70s. Robbie's dad used to own and run 311 Speedway in Florida. So he's raced asphalt late models, super late models. He's raced everything, street stocks. He started the Low Book Sprint Car Series around here. I mean, there's a lot that Robbie's done. And if you go to our Facebook page at Race Safer Fuel Arrestor, scroll down, one of our recent posts, you can see the article that Christian rap artist Tori Tellum, I'm a huge fan of hers. I met her several years ago. And for a Christmas gift, I gave Robbie an article that she wrote. And she wrote a professional article about him and his racing and inventing the fuel arrestor. And I'm not that good of a writer. I'm just old country redneck from Grove Hill, Alabama. I ain't nobody special. But now Tori, she runs a Christian radio station, and she's a graduate from her dad's Bible college that he's the president of. I believe he's the president of. Anyways, I met her in concert a few years ago, and so I reached out to her because she writes professional articles now, which is what she went to school for. And so one of the things she went to school for. So she wrote this professional article about Robbie, and y'all need to check it out. And if you can't find it, send me a message and I'll send it to you. It is so good. It's awesome. It's a show enough professional article, and I need to have one done for my ministry. But yeah, shout out to Tori Tellum for writing that article. Y'all go look up her music. She's on fire for Jesus. She's somebody I think highly of. Her music's awesome. And thank you for writing that article. He loved it. So, anyways, I got to get off the show. I'm going to watch this president debate. I'm going to watch our nut job president say his normal stuff, whatever. So, anyways, we appreciate Kirven Thomas coming on the show. We appreciate James Dixon, D&D Fabrication, coming on the show, Tech Man, Tri-County. So I'm going to end the show with Redeemed. This is called Another Minute. Thank y'all so much. God loves you. Jesus saves. Tell me what you think of this song, and I'll send you the music video, too.
Another minute, every step I know you're with me. I've been walking for a while down this road of redemption. Called on you, Jesus, I'm so thankful that you made a way. Cause I was always running, acting stupid, getting lost in confusion. Played the game, was always losing, didn't know what I was doing. Defeated, I was broken, suicidal, feeling hopeless. I was so far away from the truth. Going 100 miles an hour, there was no speed limit. Had a stone cold heart, wasn't worried about forgiveness. Too focused on myself to hear God's voice calling me home. I thought I made too many bad decisions, thought I couldn't change. Thought that I was too far gone from mercy. Thought I'd wasted way too many days. Thought I spent too many long, cold, dark nights digging my own grave. But you showed me mercy. You showed me grace. And in that moment I knew how that harlot felt when they dropped those stones and walked away. I don't wanna waste another minute. Every step I know you're with me. I've been walking for a while down this road of redemption. Called on you, Jesus, I'm so thankful that you made a way. Cause I was always running, acting stupid, getting lost in confusion. Played the game, was always losing, didn't know what I was doing. Defeated, I was broken, suicidal, feeling hopeless. I was so far away from the truth. Going 100 miles an hour, there was no speed limit. Had a stone cold heart, wasn't worried about forgiveness. Too focused on myself to hear God's voice calling me home. And I found you, you picked me up. You changed my name and you filled my cup. You carried that cross for me on Calvary that day. And I can't wait to see your face and hear your voice when you say, welcome home, my son, and you open up. You open up those gates, and I don't want to waste another minute. Every step I know you're with me. I've been walking for a while down this road of redemption. Called on you, Jesus, I'm so thankful that you made a way. Cause I was always running, acting stupid, getting lost in confusion. Played the game, was always losing, didn't know what I was doing. Defeated, I was broken, suicidal, feeling hopeless. I was so far away from the truth. Going 100 miles an hour, there was no speed limit. Had a stone cold heart, wasn't worried about forgiveness. Too focused on myself to hear God's voice calling me home.